The big thing to understand with managing fear in the ocean is that all the fears we perceive are greater in our minds than they are physically. 99% of the time you wipe out in the ocean, you're gonna be wiping out into water, you'll be underwater for a few seconds, and all in all, the wipeouts are not that bad. What a lot of surfers struggle with is the mental aspect of this. You see a big wave out the back, and immediately it triggers a fear response. This is natural, as maybe in the past you've had a really bad wipeout that's hurt your confidence, or a sketchy situation where you struggle to get back to the surface. Every surfer goes through these, and it's just important to manage them correctly. So fear, in a sense, is our brains telling us that there is a threat in our environment. When we sense a threat in our environment, the physical embodied response is this response of fear and anxiety. It's a tactic our bodies have evolved over millions of years, and it comes up when you're out in the surf. Now here's the deal. We need to bring new data into our body. In the past, a big wave breaking out the back has triggered an ill response in our body. Our body tells us, oh no, waves are coming, this might end poorly, because it has in the past. So in order to overcome fear, we need to gradually expose ourselves to these situations and give our body new data to process. If all the data we have in our body says big wave equals hold down, big crash, scary wipeout, that's not good. We need to reprogram ourselves to where big wave means, oh cool, I get to surf it. Now obviously that's much easier said than done. There's a way to gradually do this and build up our capacity to handle fear. When I think about fear, I also think about the inverse of fear, which is courage or bravery. And I believe that courage and bravery is a muscle we can build. Now, the go-to neuroscience on this topic tells us to create a 6-step ladder in order to voluntarily expose ourselves to the things, to the so-called stimuli that trigger the fear response in our body. So it's your job to create a 6-step process that allows you to voluntarily expose yourself to fear. So this doesn't mean that if you're scared of big waves, paddle out to Pipeline on a 10-foot day, and then your fear will be gone. No, not at all. What's gonna happen in that situation is you're gonna give your body new data that says, yes, big waves equal big wipeout in scary situations. What you wanna do is build up this exposure step by step by step. So that might mean initially just watching a YouTube video of crazy big waves. When you see a YouTube video, a POV video of Nate Florence getting tubed out of his mind in the Mentawais, just lock in there and watch it. And you can envision yourself in his body, envision yourself in that wave. This essentially gives your brain some new data to comprehend. Your old data is you surfing, getting wiped out, but then watch some of your favorite guys on YouTube. You take in that data and you're able to visualize yourself becoming that new person. So that can be step 1 on the ladder. Step 2 is you head out to the break on a big day. And even if you're not at the point yet where you're gonna paddle out, you're gonna watch and you're just gonna see how the lineup operates, how the surfers operate. You're gonna observe. And when you observe and sort of place your consciousness not in yourself, but into the guys in the lineup, you start to become one of those guys in the lineup who can handle the bigger surf. Step 3 on the ladder can be paddling out on a medium-sized day. When you paddle out on a medium-sized day, no need to even push yourself, taking off super steep. Just paddle out and be in the water and enjoy this feeling of being in the water and feeling the ocean's energy. For me, I've done this too with actually just swimming out there. So I ditch the board, just swim out, and you're just feeling the ocean's energy. When you don't have your board too, it allows you, when a big set does come through, you can swim super deep and you essentially avoid all the power of the wave. And it's a great way to build confidence in bigger surf. So going out without a board, little trick there. And then for step 4, what we can do is, okay, you've spent some time acclimating to the water, you've trained your brain new data of being able to hold your own in bigger surf. Now on a medium-sized day, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna hang out on the shoulder and we're gonna try and hop onto a few. We're gonna gradually build up our confidence. And even if it's not the best session of our life, we're gonna be out there and we're gonna give our brain this new data that we can go out into the surf when it's medium size and we can hold our own. Next, step 5. On those medium-sized day, we inch closer and closer to the takeoff spot, which right now we're a bit scared of, but if we voluntarily expose ourselves to this stimulus, to this fear stimulus, that fear will diminish and then our own capacity for bravery will actually grow. Essentially, you can break this down into 6-step ladder, but the way I've experienced this is surfing is essentially this gradual building of diminishing fear and increasing your own bravery. When I first started surfing, a head high wave would scare the crap out of me. Now I don't really blink at it. Additionally, when I spent time in Indonesia, you get used to these massive waves breaking. You're not as scared as your first day of the trip. We've all had this experience of getting acclimated to new waves and new environment, and that's something to keep in mind for fear management. You want to give yourself new data that trains your body to not be scared when you're exposed to the stimulus that in the past has scared you. The clinical term for this kind of thing is exposure therapy, and it's been studied super extensively, and the training for this is no different in surfing. Additionally, the two other things that you can do to really improve your confidence out in the water is dryland training and breath hold training. These two components will allow you to have the physical capacity to be able to go into the water and perform better. So as a new surfer myself, I put a lot of time and effort into my breathwork training and my physical strength. Essentially at my peak in training, I could hold my breath for up to 3 minutes. In the dryland training, I worked up my paddle strength to be as good as I possibly could be. With this in mind, this gave me essentially a get out of jail free card when I put myself in a lot of sketchy situations in the water. In addition to building a gradual fear ladder when you are exposed to the ocean, it's my advice to also train on land with dryland training as well as breathwork training. This will give you the tools you need to perform in the water. That's my experience, guys. I hope this helps. If you found this video valuable at all, please make sure to hit the like and subscription button. It goes a long way and help me out, and I'll see you next time.